Hi everyone, it's Meredith with Soul Navigation and welcome to my December 2018 transits. I'm so happy that you're here and there is so much energy to talk about this month. I can't wait. So sit back, get your warm slippers on and a drink. I don't have very much water, so hopefully it will get me through this video. But I want to start sharing with you, and I want to just dive right in. And maybe get your calendar and a piece of paper and a pen to write with, and I'm going to roll through this. So sit back and relax with me and have fun, and let's look at the incredible energy of December. I want to also tell you that there's a prelude here, and that is January's energy is going to be intense, and I think December sets us up for the early winter months in January. And so we are in Sagittarius energy. I don't know if you have felt the chaos, the rumble, the abundance of energy. For me, it's been kind of like crazy, like maniacal almost. And that has a lot to do with Uranus's too. Uranus as well, I should say. But let's dive in, okay? Because I've got so many notes. I have like 12 pages of notes. So I'm going to try to talk fast and be interesting and inspiring, I hope. But if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. And please just ring the little bell so you'll get a notification every time I put a video up. But this is going to be the energy that will most likely shape and affect your world for the next 30 days. So we're sitting here at December 1st, and we are still inside Mercury in retrograde. And right now, we are supposed to, rest. We're supposed to revisit our plans, reevaluate, relook, review, especially our money, our partner's money, our budget with a partner. We're supposed to look at our debts, our taxes, and reevaluate how we can spend our money. How can we be better with our money? What kind of reshaping does our money ask of us right now? How can we better help ourselves, I should say. This is a really good time to save money, or at least implement a plan or a program to help yourself save money. This is the time to call Comcast or Cox Cable and renegotiate your bill. This is a time when you could barter. But this is a time to go inward and readjust. So repay your debts. And it's also a time when I want you to be really careful with your travels. It can be, logistics are just crazy. So, for example, you won't believe this, but this month alone, I went down to change a tire, a flat tire, and what do you know? I had to get, of course, all 4 new tires, snow tires. My phone just stopped working out of the blue, had to get another phone. My daughter's computer completely broke. It was under warranty. Went through the hoops to get a new computer, only to have that computer also get damaged or freeze up. Even that one didn't work. So it's a time when technology and logistics and televisions and my girlfriend's refrigerator just broke. This is all very Mercury in retrograde. So it's not a great time to launch a new project or a program, but if you do, just really pay attention to all the details. So let's look at this right now. The sun is squaring Mars right now through the first weekend of December. And so everyone is a little bit on edge. And this ends around December 7th. Let me just pull this up and make sure I got this transit right. So, yeah, hold on 1 second. I just want to see this. Yep. I didn't want to be right, but this has been happening for a while. So even around November 30th, you would have felt this Mars square the sun. And it's just a time when you're on edge. So it's really hard to do that, slow down, that Mercury in retrograde, reevaluate and go within. When Mars, the planet of action, is in hard aspect to the life force energy. It's just chaotic. But that ends on the 7th of December. So let's keep talking about this, because this is really, really huge. So the sun is in Sagittarius, you know that. And Mars is in Pisces. So it can be, and that is happening right now through the 7th of December. And you might feel the effects a little bit longer than that. But you can feel really irritable, or you can feel that the world is irritable and on edge. So this is where our energy and our personality or our life force feels conflicted. They're in conflict. Like, we don't have enough energy to carry our identity forward, if you will. That's kind of my life, where you're just burning the candle at both ends, kind of feeling like you're not getting ahead, feeling like you're going in a circle, feeling like things get thwarted or convoluted, and you can feel utterly exhausted. I don't know about you, but I am exhausted. It's 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday night, and my family is out there watching Christmas movies, and I'm kind of jealous. I'm just jealous. I want to be by the fire under a cozy blanket watching Christmas movies. So it's when we just are so stinking busy. And it's hard to slow down, even though you want to. You feel like you can't or you shouldn't. You feel like the world will collapse in on you if you stop. So you feel productive, but it might be out of a panicked thinking that there's no way you can get it all done, or you're going to be under serious fire. You might feel an uncomfortable pressure for the first week of December. You might feel just exhausted. You don't have enough juice in the juicer to keep on going. But if you don't, if you stop, if you're not the Energizer Bunny, you're not going to get it all done, and the world will collapse. Now, I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that that might mimic how you feel. But interestingly, okay, so this is on December 2nd, which is Sunday. Interestingly, Venus is going direct. So we like that. And she's waking herself up in Scorpio because she went backwards into Libra. And on the 2nd, she sits at 0 degrees Scorpio. So this is a really powerful degree. So what are we being catapulted into? Attracting more money to do a better budget with and to save, deepening what we value, and figuring out our desires, finding more resources, helpful and at our disposal. That's really true for me. I have a lot of helpful people in my life right now, and I feel really blessed because there's no way I could keep my life the way I've built it in all of the compartments and all of the components highly functioning if I didn't have help and resources. So look for resources right now. Look for a house cleaner. Look for a handyman. Look for an assistant. Look for somebody who will assist you in your project. Look for a mentor. Lean on a parent. Lean on a friend. Get your honeydews out, your honeydew list. When Venus wakes up, it's a really deep time for transformation around love, money, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth. It's also your psychological well-being. And you may not have felt previously as financially or as emotionally supported as you can now. So you'll see that there is tremendous love and support in your life, so take advantage of it. So let's talk about December 6th. This is the last day of Mercury in retrograde. And it can be a really confusing time, I'm going to tell you. It's got a huge impact because on December 6th, imagine that it's going backwards, and on December 6th, boop, it stops, and it amps up and changes direction, right? So on that day, it does a stop-start. It's going backwards, it stops, and then it has to amp up and go forward again. Now, that's sort of a metaphor of what is really happening, but that's what it feels like. So it's got a huge impact, and it's a very strong day because it thrusts us forward after halting us back. So just after 1 p.m. on the 6th, it stations and goes forward. So this about-face energy, if you will, is huge, and it can actually create a massive meltdown. Truthfully, it can. So just mark your calendar and get ready and go slow. I always know that if I know what the day entails, I can wake up ready to handle it, and I usually do. But it's when I'm blindsided that I can get run over. So the remedy is to be unfazed by the little glitches and prepared for them, expect them. So you can handle anything. Just know you can handle anything. But I want you to get ready. And, you know, like I said, I've already had to change my car's brakes unexpectedly, buy 4 new tires, change out my daughter's computer, change it again, my iPhone. Just roll with it, right? Just roll with it. Laugh. Yep. Mercury going direct. So, the 6th is like Mercury in retrograde, but it's kind of on steroids. It's amplified. So I'm going to tell you another reason why this day is a little cuckoo. It's a crazy day. December 6th is Uranus is squaring the nodal axis, the nodes. So the nodes represent where we have been and where we're going. And I also think of it as our fate line, our destiny line. So it's imperative that you don't stay stagnant. You're being begged, absolutely begged, to step into forward-moving change. And it's a big kind of change. You will either lose something surprising or shocking from your past. Something is leaving you from your past. Or you just have had it leave you and now you're dealing with it. Or something new and big is trying to present itself to you, maybe in the form of loss, or both things are happening. So this is especially true, listen, this is especially true, this big giant destiny change. Something new is coming to you to advance and forward your life. But in order for that to happen, you have to lose something really big as well. Maybe you're getting kicked out of the nest and you're flying off to college. Maybe you've lost a parent. I just lost an aunt. And I don't know if you've ever watched a grave being lowered into the ground, but it is the truest, most dramatic surrender that there is in all of life. Very painful. And the loss of that is not where I want to stay. I want to stay in what is the world bringing me out of that loss. Even though it's riddled with grief or sadness at times, there is a gain inside it somewhere, but it's up to you to find it and see it. So this is especially true if you are born on the very last day or maybe the last 2 days of Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra. Now, it's true for everybody, but it's especially true for those signs. It's mega impactful. Those people's lives will change. Their destinies could change with Uranus squaring that nodal axis. So embrace it. Don't just see the loss as only a loss. It's a loss to transform and perpetuate you into a better, brighter, more evolved future. So take it as so. Even if it hurts, know that there is a gift inside this particular loss. So let's move on to December 7th. This is the new moon. Woohoo! New moon in Sagittarius. It sounds so exciting, doesn't it? And it is exciting. But these other things are happening simultaneously. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. It's not bad. It's not horrible. It's just that I would love to say, oh, we just get this glorious Sagittarius new moon and just talk about that as if that was the only aspect that's happening, but it's not. So with the Sagittarius new moon, you get to bring it on. It is a new initiation, a new manifestation. Bring in higher learning, right? Like you're being asked to learn something new, learn a new craft, a trade, master something, go into the intellectual pursuits that you've always wondered about. Read that book that you've always wanted to read. This is a time to really pursue your higher self, the abundance in your life. This is a time to create joy and travel. This is the time to book your big trip, your biggest trip, your best trip. This is a time to market and promote yourself. This is a time to put yourself out there and be bold and take a bold risk and really expand and reach for the stars, reach for your highest, best self. It is such a fun and glorious new moon, but don't hate me. It's unfortunately squaring Mars and Neptune. And Mars and Neptune are in conjunction with one another in Pisces. Okay, so they act like Siamese twins. We'll go deep into this, so sit back and listen to this, okay? Because it's convoluted and it's complex, but you can't just celebrate the new moon this time. You have to know what it's doing in relationship to the other planets in our solar system. So Mars and Neptune are right next to each other in Pisces in the chart, and they're in conjunction. And so you're going to really feel this between the 5th of December and the 8th of December. So what makes this tough? The hard aspect from the sun and the moon, because you know when there's a new moon that the sun and the moon are together in conjunction. They're right next to each other. That's what makes the new moon. Well, they are in challenging aspect to Mars and Neptune. And so they don't get along, not too well. So let's break it apart. Let's start with what's Mars and Pisces. You know, Mars and Pisces is going to, let me just tell you, Mars, the god of war, does not love being in the divine highest love, the unconditional divine love of Pisces. It's uncomfortable. But I will tell you, my father had this aspect, and wow, if this is not the aspect of the mystic. So there are blessings with this Mars, but they oftentimes take a long time to understand them because you're not as aggressive. Mars and Pisces is not as aggressive as Mars wants to be. So they can also get walked on. But let's break it apart. So Mars and Pisces collectively for all people. At this time, you're going to feel more sensitive. You may want to drink alcohol or escape into substances. You might want to escape into all kinds of feel-goods where you just can't cope with the harsh reality of life. You may feel like you just want to check out, give up, crawl under the covers, eat an extra cookie or 2 or 3 or 4 or a bag. You may have, though, your intuition might be blossoming at this time. I want you to be careful if you do any kind of drug, whether it's prescription or recreational, because, well, we'll talk about this when I get to Neptune, but just be careful. This can also be a time when you put your energy into creative energy, wanting to create beauty and music and movies and the theater and the arts and drama, just light up your soul. It can be energy that creates expansive healing for others and for self. And so this can be a time when you genuinely care about love and life and God. And so it can be, when Mars is in Pisces, it can kind of have a mixed blessing where your vice or your virtue becomes your vice. Like too much of a good thing isn't always good. So just, I want you to be careful with your boundaries. Make sure you have good boundaries and that you put limits on yourself. So our actions could really be focused on creating beautiful things. And mostly you'll get to choose how this plays out in your life. You can force yourself to kind of slow down and create the most beautiful magic in your life. Or you could just run off the rails and not know where the boundaries are with substance or other feel-goods and escape all your challenges. What I would say is the remedy for this one is use wisdom under this transit. Use your wisdom. Stay alert. So Neptune, right, is also in Pisces, right next to Mars, remember? So Neptune loves being in Pisces because that's where it's home. Mars doesn't like that as much. And it can manifest by developing a really direct, intuitive connection to God and the divine. This is like the guardian angel placement. Life can just feel truly like a fairy tale. So listen to the music play in your heart and really feel your dreams right now and etch it into your heart and visualize your dreams and visualize your goals. Sit with yourself, close your eyes and look and watch them unfold. Play the theme song of your dreams out loud and dance to it. I'm not kidding. Rock out to it. Whatever your theme song is, play it loud. celebrate it. So for the first half of December, starting on the 7th of December, along with the amplification of the new moon on December 7th, we get Mars conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And so they're like Siamese twins together, and they're inseparable. And when Mars and Neptune come together for the first half, basically, of the December horoscope, well, yeah, this can be an aspect that's hard to grasp. It can be very confusing, a very, very confusing time. If you feel lost, if you feel like you're going in circles and you don't know exactly where you're headed or what your goals are or how to achieve them, that's pretty much what this aspect is. So don't beat yourself up. And this is by far the most significant influence for December. Like I said, this aspect can be completely glorious, but it's sort of when you sort out and surrender to your frustrations and accept the fact that you don't have any real control at this time. You have some control, but when you you don't fight against the doors that are closing, but you just sort of take a step back, and then you sort of submit to a higher power, you pray, you step into your faith, and you just refuse with an elegance, or you refuse with a grace, that part of your heart that won't lose. And so you stay calm and you wait for that door to soften and open, but don't force it. So you sort of surrender, step back, and you wait for your moment, right? It's sort of like hunting in the wild as a rabbit rather than a panther. Don't be a panther right now. Be a rabbit. Wait until your predator falls asleep before you walk across the forest. I just made that up, but it's a pretty good analogy. You're going to see under this aspect, under the new moon, squaring Mars, conjoining Neptune, you're going to see deception come out of the woodworks. You're going to see that the goals that you think you have, or the goals that you see the world wanting to accomplish, get thwarted or go sideways. You're going to see deception, and at large, you're going to see really big developments where there's a beginning of a restructuring of politics around the world, not just in the Western world. And we also will probably see disasters with fire and water, drownings, sinkings, sailings gone wrong, floods, oil and gas crisis issues. Be careful. Fire and water. So in your own world, refuse to be triggered, refuse to get angry, channel the higher energy that resonates in love and positivity, no matter how impatient the world is around you. Try so hard to stay in the elements of gratitude and grace. Pray, meditate, and really breathe in. Breathe in all the positive aspects of your life. And it's through cherishing those aspects that you'll create more of them. But it takes great focus, great patience, and thoughtful movement to alter this enormous sort of, this enormous confusing transit. And under this transit, you can kind of feel like you're losing your identity, or even losing yourself. You can feel baffled why you even feel the things you feel. You might not even understand or know why your emotions are so enormous. I want to say something right here. I want to do a tangent because I just learned about the recreational use of fentanyl. And this is a prescription drug, the drug that Michael Jackson and Prince both died from. They both did accidental overdoses. And I say accidental because it's a pharmaceutical prescribed drug. And it is so potent and so powerful that if you took, even on the street, if you took enough fentanyl that was just the size of a quarter of a penny, that can kill 10 grown men within minutes. So you don't have a chance to live when you OD on fentanyl. And you don't even know that you're ODing because it is just the slightest amount. Even if you touch fentanyl, you could die. So police are that tend to a victim who has used fentanyl, and when they tend to that victim, if they come into contact with it in the wrong way, with their bare hands or with their mouth or eyes, or these 2 cops that I just read this article on were hospitalized for 5 days and both almost died. The fentanyl overdoses it's an epidemic. It's absolutely outrageous. They're being cut with pills, pot, heroin, and now liquid fentanyl is being frozen into ice cubes, and at college fraternity parties, they're being thrown down, an ice cube is being thrown down the blouse of somebody, and people are dying. It's that potent. It's like anthrax. It's terrible. Anyways, I tell you this because under this transit with this Neptune, see, Neptune doesn't know where the boundaries are. Neptune has blurred boundaries. They don't know where the edge is, so they just end up walking off. So I just want you to be so careful. I don't want you to mix pills with alcohol or take anything that you don't know. Now there's fentanyl test kits for kids that are into pot or doing drugs. I think this is one good reason why marijuana is legal. I didn't even vote for it to be legalized, but now I'm kind of grateful that it is. 1, for tax purposes, but 2, if you buy it in a store, it's all checked, and you can even get organic pot. And so I like that. At least I like that, because getting these drugs on the street is really, really scary right now. And oh my God, talk to your kids. And around this time, the whole month of December, please be especially aware where they're at, where they're going, who's driving, who's the designated driver, and for yourselves, who's the DD, do you have a DD, really just please have really good boundaries, because this Neptune transit just doesn't let you know where the beginning or the end is, and it's frightening. So I want you to go Google and look up fentanyl, please. It is so frightening. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being hysterical. It really is something god-awful happening to young people everywhere. Not even young, but they're the most vulnerable. Okay, that was my side note. December 8th. December 8th, you can embrace Chiron, which goes direct. And now you can also embrace your collective wisdom and your healing power to do things a little bit differently this time around. So you might get a wound or a hurt or an ache from the past might resurface, and you get the opportunity for a redo right now. So you get the opportunity to have learned what the wound was, how it hurt you, why it hurt you, and what your participation was inside that wound. So you get to try a new, more healed approach, not wanting to create another similar wound, but that will show up in sort of an echo chamber, right? Like, wow, I've been here before. Oh, okay, I've dated somebody like this before. I'm not doing that. Where are you a little more wiser? So on December 8th, Chiron goes direct. And this is where you get to be awake to your past wounds. And you get to really calm yourself. You get to try a new approach at a similar problem. A similar wound will come to you. It's a lesson. Take on the challenge to face it a little more kind and a little differently. So I kind of like Chiron going direct. I don't like when it goes backward and it gets buried. So Mars is going to sextile. We're going to jump ahead. Because it's just so many powerful transits, but I only have time to talk about the really, really juicy ones. So on December 17th, Mars sextiles Pluto, and this is the next most important influence. I don't know if it's the next one. I think the Uranus with the nodes, I think that one's pretty big, but this one's very, very important. It's going to last for about a week, December 17th. And it's going to give you a tremendous amount of power. Mars is in positive aspect to Pluto, and it's Pluto in Capricorn and Mars in Pisces. It's a time to really direct your goals and your energy, and you'll find that now, after the 17th, you have endurance and stamina to achieve your goals. You just need a goal, and you need a good goal, and you need to sit with yourself, even though Neptune's in the game a little bit, making you confused. But if you go within, you breathe deep, and you figure out what your goal is, this is a time when you can decide on a course of action, and you'll feel like you won't want to stop. You'll feel determined to work and win your goal. You'll want to tackle hard projects, and you won't want to procrastinate, and you can stay really, really focused right now. And you can achieve such good results under this transit. You'll want to take the lead, and there's this primal instinct of wanting to act out in a way where it's like you feel like your survival or your happiness or your personal power is really counting on you. So there's also a really provocative, mysterious, and sexual energy right now with that aspect. So work positively with that aspect. I mean, that could be really exciting and alluring, and you could become just a power magnet around December 17th. I forgot to mention December 13th. I'm so sorry. Can you guys go back? So circle December 13th. Mercury is in retrograde, right? And it is in Scorpio. And on the 13th, something really interesting is going to happen. It's going to go back to that power degree of 0 Sagittarius. And so right before that, it's at 29 degrees Scorpio. So you are going to feel this pop because it's going to go from Scorpio into Sag, and that is a big boom bang. You're going to feel this pop. It's going to come out of Scorpio, which is mute. Scorpios don't talk. They do, but they keep their feelings mostly on the inside. They are very discerning communicators, and so they say only the most critical and important things. And Scorpio is much more shy. It's very internally intense. It is very deep thinking. It is internalized, crystallized, fixed. And so when it comes out of Scorpio and into Sag, it comes into a brasher, bolder, little funnier, lighter energy. So you just may feel like, you know, I don't want to be filtered anymore. I just am going to call it like I see it. Call it and say it like I see it. Be careful, because Sag and Mercury can also be a little bit too strong and too blunt. And while they usually spin good truth and humor, you can also get your feelings hurt. So be careful with how you express yourself. Be careful how you communicate and talk, because you might just be bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. You know, your Italian New Yorker that lives repressed inside of you might just pop out. And you will also feel a little bit like you get big energy on the 13th. And your mind might go a million miles an hour. You might feel like, wow, I can't turn my mind off. December 18th. So we're going to hop forward to December 18th. This is a big healing day. This is when, let's see what this aspect is. This is a day also, this is another Chiron aspect, okay? So let's see what I said on that Chiron. Oh, Chiron on December 8th went direct. Now, on the 18th, we're going to work with Chiron again, and it's a very big healing day. This is a day when your past again comes forward in order to truly heal it. So watch what resurfaces and take a look at, again, which wound are you being asked to heal. And you're going to feel a great sensitivity around the 18th. Now, it isn't a completely inspiring or easy aspect to work with, because it is in exact square to the sun. So Chiron and the sun are in exact square to one another, and at 28 degrees. And so I'll be really curious to see which wound is haunting you, begging you to genuinely reevaluate it, take a look at it, work on it. It's gonna surface. So what inside of you is wanting that attention, and what wants to start to heal so you can create new things. That moves us into December 19th, where the sun trines Uranus. And this energy is so powerful and so filled with positive change. It is so exciting, as changes are easy now. This is when energy is moving and flowing and popping and going, snap, crackle, pop. This is pop rocks in your mouth. Pop, 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 pop. It is exciting. So it's like, dial them up and call them in, whatever those hopes and dreams and exciting energetic changes are that you've just been dying for. If you want to go on a diet, this is the day to start your diet. If you want to open up a new business, this is the day to open up. If you want to go on a dating site, this is the day. If you want to sign up for a marathon, this is the day. This is the day to make positive, forward-moving change. It just doesn't take great effort. And this is a time when more forward, progressive, positive solutions in your life can help you create a thrill. So it's kind of also like the roller coaster, like a day when you go to Harry Potter Land and ride the roller coaster. It's just a day of total joy and liberation and freedom, surprises, shocks and awes. This is a shock and awe day too, but I think that it's a liberating day. It's a day, it's a get out of jail free card. The 20th. The 20th is exciting because it's sort of a day where dreams do come true. This is a Cinderella day. This is what the Magi astrologers called a golden link. And I'll just tell you that Venus is in happy aspect to Neptune. And I like to think of Neptune as sort of the higher octave of Venus. Neptune I see as unconditional love. I see it as divine love. I see it as guardian angel love. I see it as love from the source. If you have a relationship with God, this is God's forgiveness of your sins, if you believe that. If you don't, this is the highest form of love that one can possibly receive. That's Neptune. And when it's in harmony with Venus, the planet of love, Venus is sweetness. And it's love, it's a sweet human love. So if I cook a homemade bowl of soup for my loved one, that's me in a gesture saying, I love you. But that might not, but I think there's a higher octave of unconditional love when it correlates to Neptune. So you put these two together in a really, really happy aspect, a trine, and wow, life and love become a fairy tale, and it is thrilling, and it is by far, I think, December 20th, the best day of the month for sure. So let's see what beautiful love you create on this day and how much fun you can have on this day and how glorious is it. And this is a day when I would invest in myself and in love, where I would be proactive in love, where I would tell my partner in a big way that I love them, or my child, or anybody that I care about. Now, I do worry a little bit just because, you know, I do have Pluto conjunct Uranus in Virgo squaring my sun, so I am kind of like always looking for the fault line, so forgive me, but I do feel like I have to warn you a little bit, and that is, I worry sometimes about those super good, feel-good days because, especially with Neptune involved, you can't see the boundaries, you can't see the edge. So you can overdo it kind of easily, right? Like you could dance all night until you get blisters on your feet, then you can't walk the next day. Or you could you could just deceive yourself a little bit. And so I ask you to be careful, you know, just moderation. I want you all to be safe and make the most of your December 20th, but I don't want you to go overboard. So December 21st is the winter solstice at, it's 12:21 at 2:23. Isn't that crazy? Pacific time. It is the shortest day of the year, and it is the symbolic marker, oh, and actually the literal marker of winter. It's a symbolic day, though, as it is also the day that the sun moves out of Sagittarius and into hard-working, realistic Capricorn. Take me serious, Capricorn. Respect me. So you will surely feel the shift on the 21st, where expansion and abundance moves into tradition, right? And perhaps even hard work. And it plays, this day is so interesting because it plays right out on the heels of, dun dun dun, the full moon. Can you believe this? So December 21st is on the heels, and the winter solstice, and Sag moving into Capricorn is right on the heels of the full moon at 0 degrees Cancer, right? So Cancer is the opposite of Capricorn, and so that's what makes the full moon. And it is at 0 degrees, which, as you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, 0 degrees is a crisis degree. 0 degrees and 29 degrees. So 0 degrees is the degree before 1, obviously, and it has rocket fuel in it. It is powerful. It expresses itself like a badass Aries. And so this is where this moon, this full moon, just it carries just explosive energy. Think of a little grenade in that full moon. And I don't know if you saw the last full moon, the Sagittarius, Gemini full moon. Wow, God, that was gorgeous. It was just so giant and beautiful. But our last two moon phases were both in really, really hard aspects to Mars. So this one does not have a hard aspect to Mars, but you know, the December horoscope full moon makes it easy to change directions really fast and move away, move out of the hostile energy that you see in the world today. And also, I want to tell you that Venus is still sweetening the pot because it's got that positive aspect to Neptune, and that is a really, really big blessing on a full moon. So your love life, your finances around this holiday, Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's Eve, can be really fun, really abundant, really good. So Venus trine Neptune is another strong influence on the full moon, and it is a great omen for romance and love and money and personal power. So enjoy that, and create change on that day. Let go of the things that don't serve you and step fully into love. Be bold, be bold. December 28th, I like this day a lot. This is a mysterious aspect. Venus sextiles Pluto. So Venus is in a good aspect to power planet Pluto, right? Plutonian powered, the planet of deep, deep psychological transformation, the planet of love, and then the planet of transformation. Transformation is no small thing. I mean, what if I asked you right now to transform and grow 100 legs? That would not be a simple thing to do. So Pluto is tough. But when it's in a happy aspect to Venus, it gets assistance from love. And so it's an alluring day, a day where you can attract or transform money, wealth, power, personal power, and love. And it should be noted. Do something really special and meaningful on the 28th. So December 31st, January 1st. So late on the 31st and into January 1st, we move into the new year, and we ring it in literally with a bang boom pop as Mars leaves Pisces and moves into its own sign of Aries. So it says, bye-bye Pisces, confusing Pisces. I don't know what I've been doing. I've been massively confused, trying to do everything and getting nothing done. The world evading me. So now you're going to feel the urge to produce and be active and get into your body and shake up the world and shake up yourself. You're going to feel like you want to get into a physical fitness program, or you want to play a sport, or you want to get more aggressive or assertive with your own goals, your own action. And so you will really see that this December 31st, you're going to put Capricorn hardworking goals on the table. You're going to have the benefit of Uranus to help you usher in the change. And then when Mars moves into booming Aries, you're going to see that you're going to get her done. And so put some really big resolutions on your plate right now, because you can actually manage it. You can handle it. We're going to have some shocks and awes for sure. I think you're going to see with that Neptune transit that people are going to try to trick you, dupe you, pull the wool over your eyes. They're going to try to get you to believe in fake news. Do your own research. We're smarter than that now. And also, I want to tell you, you won't want to miss my January transits video, where we're going to talk about what will happen when the Sun crosses over Saturn, and I believe that's on January 2nd, and then what's going to happen only a few days later when the Sun crosses over Pluto. So watch for it, because it's pretty intense, and I want to set you guys up really well to embrace January and to really harness the upcoming power in January. January, February, March is going to be really interesting times in the world at large. And December, I think, is a more personal month where you can usher in changes and really grow yourself in a powerful and inspiring way, healing your old wounds that don't serve you, getting rid of the baggage, saving money, planning how to manage your money better, and creating self-worth, self-esteem, and then don't forget those sweet days of romance. Anyways, it was wonderful, wonderful sharing this information with you. And please subscribe to my YouTube station, Soul Navigation. And if you have any questions, or please write them in the comments. Or if you would like a reading, you can go to soulnavigation.com and just book right there online. I wish you the very best holiday from my family to yours, and also happy, happy New Year. I can't wait to ring in 2019 with you. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. Take good care.